Hi everyone! Welcome back to Kids Corner. Today we are going to hear the story of Good Friday and how it led to today, Easter Sunday. The first part of this story, I have to admit, is very sad, but I promise it gets better. Here's the rest of the story. The leaders and teachers did not like Jesus and what he was doing. They didn't like that he was saying he was the Son of God. They made a plan to arrest him, to get rid of him once and for all. Judas, one of the disciples, agreed to betray Jesus to give him over to the religious leaders for money. Jesus and some of the disciples were in a garden praying, and Judas came with the authorities and told them which one Jesus was. Jesus was arrested. He was taken to the rulers. Jesus was presented to them, and they asked if he was the Messiah. Jesus said, "You say that I am," and they were very angry. They said that Jesus was guilty of lying and that he deserved the punishment of death. They took Jesus to the Roman ruler Pontius Pilate, who heard the case against Jesus. Pilate didn't think that Jesus had done anything wrong, but the crowd was screaming louder and louder that they wanted Jesus to be killed. Because Pilate was pressured from the crowd, he turned Jesus over to the soldiers to be crucified. Sadly, Jesus was hurt by the soldiers. They tore his clothes and put a crown of thorns on his head. He hurt so much he could barely stand on his own. They made him carry his cross so far up a mountain that he needed help because he wasn't able to do it by himself. Someone had to step in and help. They made it to the top, a place called the Skull, and this was where the cross and Jesus would be put. There, Jesus was put on the cross with two other people who had also been sentenced to death. The people gathered there. Many people shouted to Jesus, saying, "If you're really the Son of God, just take yourself down." But Jesus did not. Some of the men disciples did not come to see Jesus because they were afraid, but some of the women disciples did come. 3 hours later, Jesus took his last breath and died. At that moment, the sky became dark, and the curtain that covered the entrance of the Holy of Holies in the temple ripped in two. A soldier watching the whole thing said, "This man really was the Son of God." Then a good man named Joseph came and asked for the body of Jesus. Joseph placed Jesus' body in the tomb after preparing him to be buried. And then he rolled the stone in front of it. Days passed. The disciples and friends of Jesus were very sad, and they felt hopeless. Then, on the third day, on Sunday, 2 women named Mary went to visit the tomb where Jesus' body had been buried. But when they got there, they found that the tomb was empty and the stone had been rolled away. The story goes that an angel came and said, "Don't be afraid. Jesus is not here. He has risen." The women thought about it for a minute, and they remembered that Jesus had told them that this would happen, that he would rise again on the 3rd day. The women were a little scared, but mostly they were full of joy. They ran to go tell the disciples what they had seen and heard. Then Jesus appeared, and for the next 40 days, Jesus appeared to his disciples and many others, showing that he had been resurrected, that he was now alive in a new way. And because of this, we celebrate today still with Christians all over the world. And when we are able to be together to worship in churches, we say this on Easter Sunday. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. Hallelujah. Friends, thank you so much for joining me on this very special, Holy Easter Sunday. You're invited to share in the celebration by making the Easter Sunday craft that's in your craft package. When you're done, take a picture of it and send it to me so I can share it with our church family on Facebook, who are also celebrating and worshiping at home today. We will meet again next week for Kids Corner. Then we're going to take a break for 3 weeks, and when we come back, we will have many new stories to hear and crafts to make. I can't wait to see you next week. Take care and happy Easter!